I know it's a big weekend for you. We're here on the occasion of the reopening of Blue at the Ritz Carlton. What inspired the renovation?
We wanted to change the decor a little bit because it was aging, and we said, why not bring some talented people and revisit the architecture of the restaurant and the energy that will be in that dining room. And we did the renovations, and it's completely renovated, and it's a very different feel, and it's going to be a good surprise for everyone who's going to join us.
Can you give us some hints on the feel?
I've heard it's been inspired by the ocean and some of Cayman's maritime heritage.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh,
because Blue is a seafood restaurant, mainly.
That's what I would assume.
And we want you to make sure that you feel that you are in Cayman Island and not anywhere else.
So you're trying to keep everything as local as possible, obviously.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And we use a lot of the local fishermen, and whoever produce something on the island, we are always the first one to get the products.
So the farmer's market is your friend up by the cricket pitch, right?
Yeah. We love them.
I love it over there too. I try to go over as often as I can.
Blue has actually been around for a long time. Since the Ritz Carlton opened, there was always Blue by Eric Ripert.
Yes.
How did that come to be, that partnership with the Ritz Carlton?
I was in New York in my restaurant, Le Bernardin, and a team from Cayman came and asked me if I was interested to open another restaurant. And I said, where? And they said, Cayman. And then I said, yes, I would, maybe, I don't know. I said, when do you need me to visit? And they said, tomorrow. So I flew, and they were waiting for me at the airport. They took my luggage, put it on the boat. We went to swim at Stingray City.
Right from the airport?
Right from the airport, with champagne. Of course, I got drunk. And then they took me toward the hotel, and I was looking at it, and they said, what do you think? I said, where do we sign?
But the first thing you do is go swim with the stingrays.
Yeah.
This is one of the wonders of the world. You're like, oh my God, yeah. What else are you involved with? Where have you worked? Some of your restaurants for people who may not know.
Tell us your whole background. How did you get started?
So I started at 15 years old, being a bad student. I ended up in the kitchens. Delighted to be there because I love cooking and eating well. And then I moved to Paris when I was 17 years old and graduated from culinary school. Worked in La Tour d'Argent, which was in 1982, 400 years old.
Wow.
Then I moved with a chef very famous in Europe called Joël Robuchon. And then he sent me to the US. In 89, I started in Washington, D.C. at the Watergate Hotel. Wow. Famous for other things, but the food was good.
89, not 72.
Yeah, no, he's fine.
He's fine. He's good.
Fine.
Yeah.
And then I was a bit later.
Right.
They still had the same staff, actually.
I'm not saying you look that old. I'm just the same staff, though, at that time.
No.
Okay, all right.
But an iconic hotel.
Well, hold on. Let's back up to that. Were there any stories from that staff? Did they have stories for you?
Some of the snipers were...
What?
Yes, they had a lot of security in that hotel.
Well, right.
And once I saw a possum for the first time of my life, and I called security and said, I saw a gigantic rat, or I don't know what it was. They put snipers everywhere, and they were speaking to me. Then they were making fun of me because a possum is
it's
offensive. And they were telling me that they were already there during the scandal at the Watergate. So anyway, I moved to New York in 1989, started at Le Bernardin in 1990, and became chef owner of Le Bernardin. We are a seafood restaurant, rewarded very well by the Michelin Guide, by the New York Times, by many publications worldwide. Very lucky, and very, very happy to have that restaurant. And then Blue by Eric Ripert at the Ritz Carlton, and that's it.
Okay.
So how much time do you spend between New York and Cayman?
Well, in the winter, they need me a lot in Cayman.
Of course. Yeah, pretty much all winter, right? Yeah.
And then in the summer, I have to be in New York.
It's funny how that works. It's like, that's just your schedule. Huh? It's interesting. Blue is opening as of the weekend of the 16th in Cayman.
Yes.
Yes, reopening. And then you're going to be a part of Cayman Cookout again. And you have been from the start. So that's been your thing as well.
It's my baby.
Yes, it is your baby.
Yes.
And he wouldn't tell us. We tried to get him to tell us which event was the number one favorite event.
His favorite child, yeah.
I think he has one, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of them is really, really nice on the beach, and it's called Barbecue on the Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And
that literally is the hottest ticket to get.
Yeah, and
it sells out the quickest, probably because it's just a big party.
It's a big party, and the chefs, when they're done with their stations and feeding people, go dance and party with everyone, and it's a gigantic party, very convivial and fun.
And you can sample a lot of the places there too.
For sure.
Nice, yeah.
A lot of restaurants are participating.
Right.
And what I like about Cayman Cookout is, when you go to a gorgeous restaurant, you usually don't get a chance to speak with the chef or, maybe for a minute or two just to thank them for the meal. But I feel like everyone kind of lets their hair down a little bit.
Absolutely.
And it's nice to be able to interact one-on-one and talk to chefs about what inspired them, how they created this dish, because they're all so passionate. I've never met a true chef that isn't absolutely passionate about what they do, and the passion inspires people like me to want to go into my kitchen and try to cook something amazing too.
Well, if we do that, we succeeded. That's what we want to inspire.
I will still much rather eat at your restaurant, but I am inspired by chefs like yourself.
But the event is very intimate, and you're right. The chefs are really with the attendants, and we are together, and we speak and have nice conversations and eat together and drink together, party together, dance. Mm-hmm. It's very, very unique.
Right. I know you were good friends with Anthony Bourdain, who I'm a huge fan of for a number of reasons. His views on the world, his books. I've read his books.
Me too.
His taste in food, everything. But the book. What was the book? Hell's Kitchen. I'm trying to.
Kitchen Confidential.
That one. Yes.
That was the big one.
I read that book, and I was just amazed at the hours that chefs put in. How many hours that you guys put in. But sometimes when you're starting off, it's not entirely glamorous. It's similar in some respects to media in that way too. But I want to know now, as a celebrity chef, now that you've reached the top, are you still putting in this many hours? Do you work as hard as you did before? How would you compare your life now?
So I work less hours. When I was young, I started at 17. Mm-hmm. I was starting at 6 a.m. until 1 a.m.
Right.
And then you had 5 hours to go back home, brush your teeth, take a shower, sleep, and come back.
Right.
Today, I work only 12 hours. I'm very happy about that.
I can't believe it. Only 12 hours. Wow.
Part-time.
Right, yeah. But that's the point. It's got to be a passion. If you get into that business and you do well in it, it's got to be a passion because you got to put in the hours.
You cannot do it if you don't have the passion.
Right.
It's very physical. It's also mentally, it's very stressful because at 8 o'clock, you have an entire dining room
and you're brain dead.
To feed, and you have to create an organization that allows the kitchen to provide delicious food and so on. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of energy, and if you don't have the passion, after a few months, you're out of the kitchen.
Right. I can only imagine. Yeah, I probably would.
Have you watched the television series Bear that everyone's talking about?
I did.
What's your take on that? Do you think that's pretty true to life in the back of the house? In some kitchens? No?
Not at all. No.
But it's still entertaining nonetheless.
It's very entertaining. It's very stressful to me to watch it because I'm like, oh my God, what is that world? It's not happening like that in the kitchens.
Okay. No. Except for the Yes Chef.
Not even.
Not even?
No, because imagine if you have, in my kitchen we have about 75 cooks, not at the same time, but if they all scream, yes chef, you go nuts.
We can't wait to try the reimagined Blue by Eric Ripert at the Ritz Carlton Grand Cayman. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to taste the food and experience the ambiance. Thank you so much.
Can't wait to have you.
And Cayman Cookout too, coming up soon. Eric Ripert, thank you very much.
Thank you.